Right, so what I'm going to talk about is what's going to happen in the commercial world going forward. The Sustainable Use Directive is a piece of legislation that's now law in the UK and around Europe, and involves agriculture and horticulture at a professional level. And what it entails is everyone adopting integrated pest and integrated crop management as a legal requirement. Now that involves you guys on the nursery, it involves people like myself for advising, and it's about the environment, and it's about making things sustainable. And a lot of it is that there is going to be a lot less active ingredients available to us going forward, because what the regulators want to do is bring us down to sustainable products, which eventually will be chemical free. Not necessarily in agriculture, but in horticulture, definitely. And already in protected vegetables, where I used to work, in tomatoes and cucumbers, it's pretty much chemical free now. And that's what they want us all to do. So it's now a legal requirement. They're playing it softly. But the first thing you guys should be doing if you're growing, if you have a nursery, is produce an IPM plan. So I'll just talk quickly about that. So an IPM plan is how you propose to grow your crop, how you to grow it sustainably, how you're going to look after the environment and protect things such as pollinators and other beneficial insects, earthworms, water, the air, all of that. That's what they want. So there is a piece of legislation there and some help on what we call the voluntary initiative. Do we all know what that is? The VI. The voluntary initiative is something that the sector came together and produced a voluntary initiative so the government can see we're doing something. And if you go on that website, the VI, you can click on IPM plan, and what it will do is bring up a template that you can use for your nursery. Now what I used to do is do that for farmers, so I'd go in and fill it in myself for them. But for you guys, I recommend you go on, print it off, and answer the questions. How are you going to grow your crop? Are you going to use chemicals? Which ones are you going to use? Are you using biocontrol? All those questions. So the first thing you need to do if you're going to produce that plan is take an holistic approach on your nursery. What that means is look at the crops, look at the environment you're in. Have you got water courses there? Do you have pollinators coming in? Is it protected crops only, or is it outdoor crops? You answer all those questions on the plan. And what they want you then to do is think about how you're going to control pests, diseases, which fertilizers you will use. And there's a very sort of methodical question and answer form for you to fill in. What you need to do then is look at that in the round. One of the big things you can do is utilize your growing media. You can utilize that as a good crop protection hub. One of the ways to do that is something like Exempta. Now, do we all know what that is? It's a vine weevil control, but it also controls sucking pests as well for quite a few weeks. So you can put that in your growing media at source, and what you can do in your plan is say that that is a one-stop shop for a lot of your organisms that you're trying to control. You're not spraying while you're doing that. So that's one of the things you put in your plan. You also need to revisit that plan if you change what you do. So it's really a movable feast. Also, if you're taking advice on chemicals that you want to use or not use, you need to take advice from a BASIS registered advisor, because it is now a legal requirement that the advice you take is from a qualified person. Hygiene is also key. So do you all sterilise? Does everyone sterilise the nursery? Use clean pots or wash the pots out? Yeah, I mean, that's key, because the easiest way for people to get pests and diseases on the nursery is carryover. So you need to sterilise and start clean and stay clean. That's something you put in your plan. How do you do it? When do you do it? So what do you need to be aware of in this plan? So you're going to get a build-up of pests. You could have products that are toxic to pollinators that you're using. Do you all know where to go if you wanted to check if the product you're using is toxic to pollinators? Do you know the document that you need to see? Does anyone know? Has anyone heard of an environmental information sheet? This one's for Exempta, but every registered product in the UK has one of these. So if you go on the Voluntary Initiative website, click on environmental information sheets, all you need is the product name, not the active. What they will bring up is information on non-target organisms, including bees. For Exempta, the advice is no action needs to be taken, very low toxicity to bees. So you know that's safe to use. Some other products will say very toxic to bees. That is written by the government, not by us. That's a legal document. Have it in your plan. So you can revisit that at any time. So now you're getting a sort of picture of what you can and can't use under a sustainable plan. What I recommend you do is go in your chemical store, look up all the product names, get these printed off or stored on your computer for every product so you know what you're doing. If any of those are toxic to any of these non-target organisms, worms, bees, aquatic life, look for a substitute. So all you need to do is go through the list and pick something that will substitute and still do the same job, but not harm those non-target organisms. If you're using biocontrol, you need to make sure those products that you're using alongside them are compatible. So a good way to do that is to go to BioBest website, and there is a side effects database. So what you can do there is you can put the organism that you are introducing to your crop, and then you can pick an active ingredient or product and it will tell you if it's compatible. Again, put that in the plan. So it's searchable, it's a fantastic database, it's an app for your phone, so you can have it when you're around the nursery, and you build up that information. Which product am I using? Is it compatible with Amblyseius or Phytocelis? Put that in your plan. So you're starting to build up this knowledge in one document, which is transferable to all your staff. So again, recapping before I go to products, help and advice. Find out who the person is, whose product it is, get it from them. A BASIS registered advisor. A BETA qualified advisor if it's to do with water courses or boreholes. I've got that qualification. They will tell you about buffer zones, LERAPs and all that, so you can do that. Biological control companies such as BioBest. We've got Tim over there from BioBest. They know all about biological control. The Voluntary Initiative, and also Crop Protection Association. Go on their website. Lots of things to do with tank cleaning, application and everything else. So, just as a side issue, some pests there that you probably all know. On the left, we've got vine weevil. Top middle, we've got scarred fly, then aphid. At the bottom, we've got the vine weevil larvae, whitefly, lily beetle. So that's quite a broad selection of pests. If we look at Exempta, which goes in your growing media as a one-stop application, 400 grams, will last you 38 weeks. And it will control those pests for various amounts of weeks. So vine weevil up to 38 weeks, 17 weeks for aphids, 8 for leaf beetles, including lily beetle, 6 weeks control of fungus gnats and scarred fly, and up to 10 weeks for whitefly. Now that is a very good way of controlling a myriad of pests in one application without having to spray. What you can do after that for your vine weevil, if you wanted a 52-week control, you can then start factoring in nematodes, such as Nemesis L, something like that. Nematodes are compatible with Exempta. Okay? So again, that's what we call IPM. Yeah, you're thinking about using different products to get the control. For diseases now, what we are finding is that, again, because the regulators are asking us to bring biological products in, we've got a product now such as Pre-Stop. Have you all heard of that? Yeah. So this is a new group of biological fungicides. So this is a natural fungus that will predate other fungi. So again, it's sustainable, it's chemical free, it's what the regulators want. What this will do as a spray, it will control botrytis, but more important for you guys with ornamentals, if you put it in your compost at source, it will control Pythium, Phytophthora, Rhizoctonia and Fusarium. They all attack quite regularly at the beginning of the crop cycle when it's weak. Get that in as a protectant. Again, you're ticking all the boxes. It's sustainable and chemical free. Needs to go in your plant. It's not the only such product. There's plenty others to look at. But this is what you need to be doing now, legally, to say to the authorities, we are adopting IPM, we are doing things in the way we should do them. And pre-stop very quickly just works by outnumbering the competitive fungi. It's what we call colony forming units. If there's more colony forming units in the fungi that's predating the other fungi, it basically outcompetes it by not giving it any room. If it still feels under threat after that, what it will do is release damaging enzymes into the space that it's in, and they will then kill that competing fungi. So it really is, it's perfectly acceptable to use and it's chemical free. Okay, but you do need to make certain that it's compatible with the other products you're putting in. And again, you can use the side effects database to check that. That's a very quick snapshot. What I do urge you to do, download an IPM plan off the voluntary initiative, have a look at it, fill it in honestly. It'll ask you what you're doing now, fill it in, and then it will ask you to do what you are going to do to address the issues that you might have that don't fit in with their criteria. It is a legal requirement. Governments are not pushing hard on it at the moment, but they will. So I urge you to have a look at it. And what you'll find is you'll get a lot of benefits from it, because you're going to make your business future-proof, because you're not working on technology that might be under threat in 1 or 3 to 5 years. So basically, you're looking at a sustainable way of growing.